welcome to show number 115, Help Desk with Joe. And with me, as always, Joe and Justin.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
And Joe, you bring good news, or well, not good news always. You bring news, technological news to the masses, local individuals, businesses, big businesses, regional, statewide, nationwide. You guys do a lot of work in the technology field, and you bring that out here in the show to share with people, and we like it.
I'm going to say today's show, I'm going to kind of be the bearer of bad news.
Oh,
so just a
man.
heads up.
Come on, Joe. Can't always have good news, I guess.
Well, on the bright side, though, today's news stories involve knuckleheadedness at its finest.
I'm pretty sure that's every news story that I've seen. Like, I flinch when I look on Yahoo News, which is kind of where I look at it once or twice a day just to say, all right, what's happening out in the world? Because I don't have TV, so I don't watch TV news.
Right.
But I will look at Yahoo just to kind of see, all right, what's going on, and every time I'm disappointed.
Seems like it gets worse over the years.
Oh, it's craziness.
More frequency of.
But I bet every generation said the same thing.
Yeah.
They're like, this news, same way as like this music, Elvis was bad news, and then, shaking his hips. And, and then we got what's it called now? Twerking or whatever. But that's probably old news by now.
Yeah.
But, and then you got rock and roll, the devil. And then it's hard metal, and now it's, I don't even know what it is now.
Society in general.
Yeah, society in general. So. Anyway, but this show I really enjoy. Sometimes good news.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, when you told me the titles to put in for the show, I was like, oh, no. You start off with the IRS.
The first one's a doozy.
Yeah, the IRS just, gosh, gives you cold sweats.
Yeah.
So especially when you say it's bad news, that makes me think we're all in trouble.
About 120,000 people.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. We got 400 million in the U.S. So,
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start this off. Joe, bringing in some news, and as you said, not necessarily good news today, but news involving technology, and apparently today involving the IRS.
Yeah.
Internal Revenue Service.
Yes, so the IRS, in their infinite wisdom, states that it accidentally exposed confidential information involving 120,000 taxpayers.
Huh. Was any of them the previous president?
No.
Imagine that. Okay. So they can't even get that right.
Yeah.
I do have a beef with the IRS. Here's my beef.
I have a beef with them every year, but that's...
Well, everybody does, but I don't understand how that if you owe them money, they charge you a daily interest, but if they owe you money...
You'll get it when you get it.
You don't get any interest.
Yeah.
They we'll get your money, but there's no interest tied to it. By golly, if you owe them, the interest accrues daily, and it's a heavy penalty.
Well, and that's the thing. And they want their money now, but if they owe you money, you'll get it when you'll get it.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of crazy how that works. It's such a one-sided coin.
I know that there's been recordings of this with me saying it's, I don't care at this point, but I always refer to them as a school bully. You pay them enough money, they'll leave you alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that work, though? I hope so.
Yeah.
Yet to be seen. But anyway. IRS. All right. So they have... How does that happen? Did somebody hack them, or they just messed up?
No, this was all on them. They wasn't hacked.
Oh, gosh. That's even worse. At least if you get hacked, you're like, well, these hackers came in and, they stole our information, but now it's just the IRS being knuckleheads.
Yeah. So around 120,000 taxpayers who filed a Form 990-T will be hearing from the IRS in the coming weeks, telling them what the agency inadvertently exposed their information on its website.
Hold on. A 990, that's like we fill one out as a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Do private businesses do that as well?
Private people. Let me go on to explain.
Okay, because I know our 990 is required since
Right.
we're a nonprofit government entity.
Right.
We're required to put out a 990 first.
Right.
And then we do our audit, and it goes out afterwards.
Right. So exempted organizations like you guys, including charities and religious groups with unrelated business income, are required to file the Form 990. As the Wall Street Journal notes, though, people with individual retirement accounts invested in assets that generate income, such as real estate, are also required to file the form. filings by exempted organizations are supposed to be public, but those by private individuals aren't.
Right. Yeah, I know ours is public. That's why when you said that, I was like, ours has to be disclosed publicly anyway. Like you can, just for general information for everybody out there, you can go on guidestar.com or .org, and it'll list all nonprofits in their 990s.
Yeah. So this is where the mix-up happened.
Gotcha.
So the agency said in an issue stemmed from human coding error last year when Form 990T became available for electronic filing. As you can guess, the error led to the bundling of non-public data with public data, which were all made available for download. It wasn't until these past weeks that an employee discovered the issue and triggered an investigation that eventually led to the removal of the data that shouldn't have been public in the first place. In its letter, the IRS said the leaked data included individual names and business contact information, affected taxpayers' social security numbers, individual income details, and other information that could impact their credit were not made public. The Journal, which was able to download some of the data before it was removed, said it included people's income with their IRAs as well.
Could affect their credit, you said.
No, could not.
Could not.
Their social security numbers and stuff like that was not included into the information, thankfully.
Yeah.
But, like, Justin, if you fill out a 990 as an individual, I could get your name, business contact information, and find out exactly how much money you had in your IRA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you say you don't have no money, I got a piece of paper that says you lie.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin. Man, pick on Justin Day. Starts early, doesn't it? Welcome to 8 a.m. Here we go.
Now, can you remind me the time frame again? How long before it was discovered?
Months.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wonder how tempted that employee was. I'm like, well, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. The next question is, how many people saw it before this one goes? You know, it had to be somebody new. Hey guys.
What do you want, new employee? Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, and the guy that's like 3 weeks from retirement sitting there going, "Shut up!"
Yeah. Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. He's crazy. Oh man, that's unfortunate. You know, I don't know.
It is a lot, but yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, good it wasn't like millions of people.
Well, and I'm just thankful it didn't hold like social security numbers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So since it didn't, like if you had a scale of DEFCON 1 to 5, 5 being like hit the red panic button, how bad is that? Since it didn't have that information, but yet it is information leaked.
I'd say it's at least a 2.
2. Okay. So moderate.
Yeah.
Moderate worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because here's how, from my standpoint, it could fall out. I find out Justin is a multimillionaire and he's kept his mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can try to go after Justin through phishing scams and stuff like that,
right.
trying my best to get some money out of Justin because I know he has it.
Justin, did you win the lottery?
No.
No comment?
I won a bet at the golf course one time.
There we go.
But that's how...
Hold on, what was the bet?
Oh, just those weekend games, like everybody puts in couple $5, and then if the team wins, you win some money.
Okay.
So I got about $7 out of that.
Nice. Unreported income.
Yeah.
IRS, come get this cat.
Now wait. Now I'm not a tax expert, but I did see an H&R Block commercial. It's under $600, so you didn't have to report it.
Oh.
Well, that's good. Glad I didn't
Fine.
out myself on air
Yeah.
for criminal.
Close call, Justin.
Yeah.
Close call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of the fallout.
Better watch out. The Department of Ed will be after you next.
Yeah.
You didn't budget that appropriately. Inside joke.
But now, I mean, it could put a bigger target on people that have money that
Right.
they can have people trying to weasel money out of them now.
That's interesting. I still can't believe somebody didn't put the hush on this.
Yeah.
But, good for them. Good for the IRS at least on that. Kudos that they let people know.
Letting people know they're in the process.
Still letting people.
Yeah.
All right, well, that they're in the process then. Kudos to them for that part at least.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. It'd been probably pretty easy to just sweep under the rug and say,
Yeah.
I don't know why you're getting fished after and scammed.
Right.
Yeah. more than usual.
How could they get that information? That's crazy talk.
Yeah. And to the poor new person that spilled the beans on this one.
And you said the error at the very beginning resulted, was it, did you say cording?
Yeah, what had happened was somebody didn't flip the right switch or input the data right, and instead of segmenting individual 990s from
Public
organizations,
entities,
they just threw them all in the same bucket and just threw it online and said, there you go.
Yeah. And how many was it? 120,000?
Yeah, around 120,000.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, it's bad, but
Right.
it's not millions.
No.
Like, I always, like, holy smokes, when you have, like, 1.5 million people that have credit reports or whatever that get hacked, that gets rough.
Real quick, like. Well, and that usually has confidential information included in that. Luckily, this.
So this is not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 on a scale of 5. Okay. IRS, doing work. Taxpayer money.
Yeah, there's your tax dollars at work, folks.
Gosh. I don't know. Did the joke stop there? There's so much I could say right now, but I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah, that's like me. I can pile on, but I just, it's best that I don't. Not this early in the morning.
Well, that's the Department of Ed. Holy smokes.
State or federal?
Holy smokes.
I was going to say, doesn't matter.
No, it does not. This is what I will say for people in West Virginia. If you're not paying attention, watch what's going on at the Department of Ed. We got a new superintendent. The old superintendent went to I believe the new deaf and blind school at West Virginia, what used to be West Virginia Tech in Montgomery.
Okay.
Which is now a deaf and blind school. Because originally there was one in Romney, but now they were opening up this one.
Is West Virginia Tech still around, or?
Kinda. It moved to Beckley.
Okay.
But it's got a different name now.
Okay.
But the school's still there, and they're building a nice ramp that goes across 60 over to it, and or 61, whatever that is.
Okay.
In Montgomery. So yeah, I mean, but the deaf and blind school's taking over that college campus, and then they had one of the other small community colleges took a part of it. But yeah, so Clayton Birch moved to there as superintendent, took a big pay cut of a little over 100,000.
Really?
Yeah, so that's interesting. And then they've cleaned house. Went through and they've had about around I'll roughly say 20 people get ousted or forced retirement /
you leave or we'll
resign.
Make you leave.
Yeah, type deal, and several been told clean up their resumes, and so we shall see.
Do we know why? As a taxpayer, do we know why?
Well,
that's
I
going
mean,
on,
you know, West Virginia educationally's bottom 2 or 3 every year.
Right.
You know, and our test scores are never good.
Right.
So I'd say a pattern of about 60 or 70 years of not making progress.
Tomfoolery finally caught up with them.
You know, I don't know. It's craziness.
Burn it down and retry again.
Yeah, that's so. I don't know. I had a conversation with a superintendent probably 8 or 9 years ago, and he's like, "You guys need to show me some hard data, blah blah blah." And I was like, "When's the state gonna like improve reading or math? I'd love to see that."
Yeah.
Do your job. Don't
Right.
sit and talk to me about my job.
You're right. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the teachers can only teach what they're told to teach.
Oh, that's a whole fiasco.
Yeah.
It's amazing. If you don't know what teachers go through, let me just tell you, every day is just a rough day for a teacher.
Yes.
I mean, that they change curriculum on a regular basis, which means the teachers have to change everything they do, come up with new lesson plans, come up with new daily teaching styles. You know, it's just like phonics. Phonics is an easy one. We had phonics. We loved it. We got rid of it.
Yeah.
And then we went back to whole reading or to something else. And then we came back, and now we're starting back into phonics. So all those kids, there's like a 6 or 7 year gap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny. I got this joke back when I taught, which was over 20 years ago. And they're like, listen, if you really like something, just wait 7 years. It'll come back around. I was like, that's the weirdest joke ever. Is it serious? And they're like, well, it's kind of sarcasm. And by golly, they're right.
Yeah.
You know, you wait 6 or 7 years, phonics is coming back.
Does that mean Common Core Math's going to make its way back at some point?
Common Core Math never left. That's a big misconception. Common Core Math is so misconstrued. Like, I doubt if you ask anybody if they know what Common Core Math is, they actually know what it is. So here's what Common Core Math is. It's just saying you got to get from point A to point B. And you can do it any way you want.
Okay.
Welcome to Common Core Math. So, meaning that you take your classroom of 25 kids, we'll say fourth graders, and so you need to teach skip counting. Skip counting is like 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2,
Right.
So pretty easy deal. You can teach it any way you want. Throw out blocks. Do a worksheet. Do a verbal lesson. Common Core Math says teach whatever's best for those students at that time to teach them how to get from point A to point B. Learn how to skip count to 100. Pick your path.
Okay.
Everybody threw a fit and said Common Core Math's the devil. Well, okie dokie then. So here's what happened to the legislation. West Virginia legislation said we're no longer doing Common Core Math because they were duped. And so my question was, time out. You voted on something that you didn't know what was going on, first of all.
Shocker.
And then second of all, you cut out Common Core Math. What did you put in its place? Nothing. So now we're floating on nothing.
Yeah, so literally instead of going back to what we had, we'll just kind of hang out.
Yeah, so what we had
happens.
before was not Common Core, was you will teach math this way. You're going to
Right.
teach skip counting with a worksheet, no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to do the worksheet, and every student better learn it the worksheet way.
Yeah.
And if they don't learn it, tough luck for them. Teachers not to go off that curriculum. So, in my mind, Common Core Math gave teachers more freedom to teach the best way they needed to. But, it got spun out of everything else, and people started freaking out. And next thing you know, Common Core is the devil. I'm like, you don't even know what Common Core is.
I'm going to say, because I just remember seeing the horror stories of just
Yeah.
the nonsensical stuff of trying to teach math and like looking at it going, well, that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, for you it may not, but for another student it might.
Right.
And that was the beauty of Common Core, is that, it allowed you to teach different ways to different students in the same classroom. Because what happens is each county, like a state, determines some things. We're going to teach this.
Right.
This is our curriculum, we'll follow it. Then they pass it down to the counties, and the counties can pick and choose between, like, whatever politician's friend comes out with a new curriculum on reading, for instance, or whatever.
Right.
Then, you can choose from a couple of different ones. And then that county makes a decision, and then they purchase that system, we'll say. And then they use it for the next 4 or 5 years. And then, a new one comes out, and they're like, all right, you got to pick a different one, even though it might be working. So it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's it in essential nutshell, which is probably pretty watered down, honestly. And then I agree. Some of the stuff. So what I did, we went to a meeting at the elementary school, and the person explained, here's 3 different ways to learn how to get 6 in addition. You can do
Right.
2 plus 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 2 plus 3 plus 1. 3 different ways to get there, and 3 different ways to teach that kid, that may not understand one concept. You have 2 other types of concepts to teach.
Right.
And the problem I had was like, time out. Some of these don't make sense, and they're kind of out there, and it's really hard for a teacher to discern when you got 25 kids.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, but that's just, the options are there. I'm like, okay. But, that is confusing for the average person. It's like, all right, listen, I learned, to get to 6, 5 plus 1.
Right.
This 2 plus 2 plus 2 deal, craziness.
Right.
So, I don't know. It just depends. Now, I've seen a lot of stuff. Like, we have Mr. Fava, who does math, or did math for us at the elementary school as an after-school program, and he did a wonderful job. And what happened, and we saw amazing results out of this program, is he taught math by color.
Yes. Yes.
And it worked out fantastically, because a lot of kids will relate. They know color.
Right.
And they can do math based off of that, because it engages more of their brain. Essentially a different part of their brain than just math by itself. So they have more to work with.
Yeah, because I remember watching him.
Yeah, he did some videos here, yeah.
Yeah, and one of those, the first time you hear it, well, that's crazy, that won't work. And then literally as soon as he starts explaining it, it's like, well, that makes perfect sense.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't they go this way?
Yeah, because we did it for free, and that school buys math curriculum.
Right, but I'm thinking, it just makes sense.
Oh, yeah, it does. Well,
Yeah.
it's like reading. And here's your pro tip for parents that has a little guy or gal and you're teaching reading to, like when they're 2 and 3 years old. If they draw a picture of a house, and then you have that house on a flashcard and you flip it over and write the word house, they'll learn to read it a lot faster than if you just try to teach them the word house.
Yeah.
If they have a visual recognition of something, especially if it's personal.
Right.
Same way with a dog. put a picture of your dog and then DOG on the other side and show them that, and they will relate it way faster than you just trying to teach them to read dog by itself.
Right.
And so it's just a visual connotation that allows that child to access different part of their brain to relate it to reading versus just the letters. So there's a lot of different ways, to teach a dog a trick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or in our case, teach a child to learn. So anyway.
Well, and it's another free plug to get a better understanding of what all teachers deal with. Again, I know I put you on this. The Teachers Off Duty podcast. Cannot recommend that enough.
Yeah,
if you want an idea of the nonsense and the chaos that a teacher deals with, because my sister's a teacher.
Yeah.
And I've heard the horror stories that she tells me, and I always tell her, hats off to you, because I wouldn't last 30 seconds in your job.
Yeah.
And
hats off to any West Virginia teacher.
Well, and
you get paid the nation's minimum.
Yeah. You get paid the least and deal with the same, and the nonsense that West Virginia teachers are dealing with, it's nationwide.
Oh, gosh.
And just some of the horror stories that these teachers talk about, because these teachers, they have it's a weekly podcast, and they're from different states. There's one from Ohio, North Carolina, Alabama. I mean, so it's not like it's a local deal.
Now, locally is a circus right now.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. You look at what's happening here. We can use Roane County as an outstanding example of why, or how this is such an ordeal. We're shuffling principals at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Just because principals took better jobs in other counties. And
days before school started.
Or the first day of school. So,
yeah.
In which, hey, you can't. I don't personally blame those principals, because if a job opens up that pays a lot more money, and you have responsibilities to your family,
right?
So they have to do that. Not they don't have to, but it's smart.
Yeah,
and so they take it. And now we got to shuffle. Like we've had a couple schools that didn't even have principals on the first day of school.
Right, and that's the thing. They want. When I say there's certain groups of people that want you to blame these teachers and these principals for doing like that. Listen, at the end of the day, they're doing what's best for their situation, their family, etc.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't take a raise?
Exactly. I mean, that's just foolishness.
Yeah, and and here's the other part of it. If you're one of those people that blame them, you're probably the reason.
Yeah.
Don't go to the school and complain and blame the teachers and the principals for all your problems and lack of parenting.
Yeah.
And that's personally what I see a lot. Parents come and talk bad about the school system, and they're like, well, this teacher, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, why don't you support them a little bit? Come out into the community, go to the parent-teacher conferences, show up at the orientations and stuff, and go to sporting events and support your school.
Right.
Support your teacher. If your teacher says, hey, your child's misbehaving, take it to the child and make them be accountable. Don't sit there and say, well, teacher, you need to do a better job. It's kind of crazy, the stress we put on teachers to be parents.
Yeah, that's the thing. Teachers can't be teachers anymore. They have to be parents, psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors. I mean, they can't just teach them what they need to do. They have to go through all this other
and that
stuff.
mental beating is what's, in my personal opinion, what's causing a lack of teachers.
Absolutely.
That's like, I know one kindergarten teacher here in Roane County doesn't have an aide. And how hard is that to deal with 25 little people without a helper at that age, their first experience in school? So that does two things. One, it beats that teacher up.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, those kids get cheated because they should have a secondary adult there to help. And it's their first exposure to school. And then those parents are having the same, backlash because now their child is not having the first experience of school that they should.
Right.
And then the parents are, have to deal with it as well in some capacity. But, it's a vicious circle.
All the people that are directly affected can't fix the problem.
Oh, yeah.
But the ones that can go, not my problem.
Well, and here's the crazy part. Now they're not allowed to strike by law.
Yeah.
Same as troopers and same as highway department workers.
Yeah.
So problem solved.
Yeah, we'll
so all
force
that
you.
Yeah, all that did was run teachers out of the business. So
yeah.
The average teacher lifespan right now, as being a teacher by lifespan is what I mean. 3 years.
Yeah.
And they switch jobs.
I heard 1,500 vacancies statewide.
Oh,
the
yeah.
other day.
Yeah. That we can't, their teachers are not available. We have people going in positions, and I know this just from other counties. I talked to a teacher at a soccer game last week, and they were talking about how one of their teachers in, it was elementary school, so it'd be K through 6, something like that. One of the teachers was just a 4-year degree off the street.
Yep.
And was never had teaching, doesn't have any teaching experience, doesn't have a background in teaching, doesn't have anything.
Yep.
They walked into their team meeting the first week and they're like, what was your last job? Well, I attended bar. Do you have any teaching experience? No. Do you have a college thing that has some like educational classes? No. Welcome to
bloody brilliant.
Welcome to third grade or whatever it was. And it was like,
Yeah.
how in the world do you put that person in a room of 25 third graders and say go?
Because
they had no idea. Like, they didn't have any worksheets. They didn't have any idea how to do lesson plans. They didn't have any idea what any of the curriculum terms meant. You know, and that poor class of third graders.
Right.
You know, and then the other 3 teachers are trying to help them, and they're trying to explain this to them, but they have no idea. They were just like, this teacher was lost.
Well, and that's the thing. The state's solution to the problem was, let's not increase the pay of teachers. Let's lower the standards.
Oh yeah, well, lower the standards and then beat them up so that
yeah.
they can't talk back.
Yeah.
You'll just take it and you'll like it. And then they're like, well, we have 1,500 vacancies. We don't know what to do. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So our education system's struggling, and our poor teachers.
And it's nationwide.
Yeah, and it is. I feel like West Virginia's at the bottom of that heap nationwide, though, because we're already in the hole of having bad scores.
We was in the mess to begin with, and it's just gotten worse.
Got worse, yeah. Now, I did see where Columbus had teachers that went on strike.
Yes.
And that affected 47,000 students.
And I applaud those teachers for doing that.
Man. Yeah, you got to take a stand. I don't know. It's so crazy to me. Here's what really is crazy to me. And keep in mind, I'm a certified teacher. So I'm not just talking crap, in my opinion anyway. Probably a lot of people out there, you're full of crap. But, and that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But, you know,
they're wrong, but they're entitled to it.
Well, I won't say that.
I will.
But, you know, we want our children are, you know, the Michael Jackson song or whoever, children are our future.
Right.
And so we want to pay people that are in charge of that future the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then tell them you need to do a better job and beat them up for it. And then say, but you have a really important job. And it's just like a state trooper. It's just like a Department of Highway worker. It's just like anybody that, you know, holds those reins in their hands. And we say, we're going to pay you minimum money to do a very important job.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what really aggravates me. When the teachers went on strike, it was for the troopers, the highway workers, teachers.
Yeah, it wasn't
all
just
in
for them.
one pool.
Right.
And I'm like, man, and I heard people complain about that, and I was pretty quick to speak up. And I was like, no, time out. You go do a trooper's job where you got to deliver a warrant up a holler somewhere by yourself without cell phone service or radio service, and then sit there and tell them how they don't need, you know, a decent living.
Yeah.
You know, and oh, it's crazy. I talked to a teacher. This is another one. Talked to a teacher at a soccer game who was from Charleston that was a teacher, and then 3 days a week was a waitress. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to supplement your income 3 days a week as a waitress just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I'm single household person, and I got to work 3 days a week as a waitress right after school. I leave school, go straight to my job, and work until 10 at night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to make ends meet. I was like, oh, so depressing that's you know, and yet, anyway, that's my soapbox for the day. Good job, Justin. Way off topic.
One of the teachers on the Teachers Off Duty podcast was talking about she went to the office to get a box of pencils. Yeah. So the secretary goes over, takes the keys, unlocks the cabinet, and like it's the Holy Grail. Oh yeah. And opens it up and hands her the box of pencils and starts writing stuff down. She said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm taking this out of your classroom budget." She goes, "I have a classroom budget." She said, "Yep, $10." Yep. She said, $10, and the secretary said, "Yep, $10 for the year." And there's $3 right there for pencils. Oh yeah, it's great. And you know what's unreal? Teachers are so great. They take money out of their own pocket. Yeah. And I know from back when I was teaching and filed taxes, it's like $200, $250 you can do as a tax write-off. Yeah. Write-off. But teachers spend, I don't know, it's unreal how much money they spend. They work at a loss. I mean, I have some of my family members, and I know they put at least $1,000 every year in their own classroom, buying kids stuff. You know, if a kid doesn't have a coat, who do you think gets them a coat? Right. Their teacher will. Exactly. You know, and we started doing some of that with our Typhoon kids, like coat drives and stuff like that. Just because you can only beat up teachers so much, right? You know, and you got to help them, and you know, God love their hearts. Well, and they help out their kids so much in their classroom. And the thing that just drives me nuts is when society says if you can dribble a ball or you can throw a ball, will pay you way more money than the person that taught you how to read that contract to dribble that ball, or to know how to handle your money when you throw that ball,
or provided you 12 years of having a gym and classes and places to work to learn those skills to dribble the ball.
Exactly.
Because there was a coach somewhere, middle school or youth league, like our youth leagues here use the school gymnasiums that use public schools as a foundation to build those skill sets.
Yep.
You're right, Joe. That's a good one. Anyway, all right, IRS, they're killing us. An intern, they're killing teachers. That's the crazy part. You go work for the state as a teacher, and then you got to pay taxes on your pay. I was like, oh my gosh. Not only do we demand you do a very, very challenging and very, very important job, but you're going to pay taxes to do it.
Yeah.
We've kind of thrown that around before in the office, Dave. Like, what could you do to help out the teachers maybe at the federal level? I mean, maybe they pay no income tax. That could be...
Oh, you can do all kinds of things. Don't pay any income tax. Give them a stipend to buy supplies for the classroom with. I mean,
more than $250.
Oh yeah, that's your tax rebate. Meaning you only get it if you pay enough taxes to be eligible for it. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't know. More support across the board is federal level, and then filter that down to the state, where the states have the ability to help out teachers more. And I know that's a misnomer. It's so crazy. They're held accountable by statistics that they have no control over. Here in Roane County, how do you want to get the test scores up? Well, we have, roughly 20% of our kids are transient and homeless. You have 20% of our kids are foster kids. You have a whole nother group of kids that live with a single parent, or a grandparent. You're fighting a hard battle there.
And being in a rural county, that just adds another layer.
Yeah, and it's just in general, and you kind of, when you look at the student and you say, okay, we really got to focus on your test scores, because that's how the schools, the teachers, the principals, they're all held accountable by those test scores.
Right.
What do you tell a kid that, his parents had a all-night whatever, then kept them awake so they got like 1 hour of sleep, and then they show up at school and they're tired and they can't learn. And here's the real hard part, and this is just the statistic we work off of. If a third grader is not reading at third grade level, 85% of them never catch up. So how, as a third grader, if you're not reading at your grade level, how do you ever catch up on your workload?
Right.
As you go up through the ranks of 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. By the time you get to high school, you're not reading at level. Now you can't do your work because you're already behind. And it's so hard for a teacher that has 25 to 30 kids in a classroom to take one child that, might be, we'll just say a sophomore that reads at a 6th grade level to read sophomore English stuff.
Yeah.
Or to do high-level math classes that have reading problems. They never catch up, and then we just beat them up for it.
And then, the state's take on that is, we'll just dumb it down to catch up that one. Well, now that's not fair to the other ones.
They don't even do that. It's crazy. They all test at the same level. That's the real crazy part. So when they do like state testing as sophomores, it doesn't matter what level you are. You take the same test, and you're all graded the same. So now the schools get beat up because they're like, well, if you have a high special education population that needs, other additional services, the county has to provide those.
Yeah, and you can't catch up on that.
No, gosh, no, it's so hard to catch up. Because you're right. Well, how do you? Again, you can't bring the class down to your lowest student, because you have to teach 30 kids.
Right.
And you can't take it to the highest level for your highest student to give them extra incentive and work.
Right.
So you gotta water it down in the middle and hope that it catches everybody.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to do. I've been there. I had, back when you were in high school, Joe, I was a sophomore English teacher and had honors English, had 34 kids in my class. And then I had a regular English class, had 32 kids, and 5 of them were taking sophomore English for the 3rd time, junior English, and senior English.
Yeah, all at the same time.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
And I went to counseling. I was like, how are they going to pass senior English if they can't pass sophomore English?
Yeah.
How are they going to pass junior English? I don't know. They just have to take it. I was like, why didn't this kid at the vocational center? Like, well, if you don't pass your core classes, you don't go to the vocational center. Like, time out. What? How in the world do we not send on kids to the vocational center that need vocational skills?
Yeah.
Like, well, they got to pass their core classes. Like, that does not make sense.
No.
If you're not passing your core classes, you need to be learning a vocation.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go out and get a job, and it's going to be, a vocational job. And it's even doubly crazy because vocational jobs pay a ton of money.
Yeah, and that's
Be an HVAC, a carpenter, a plumber,
Uh-huh.
electrician. My gosh,
hey, that's where
such a great living.
that's where I got my start in the IT field, and
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing people want to dump on vocational classes. Listen,
Oh my.
vocational school is the best thing going.
Yes.
If
And
you-
we have a good one here.
Oh yeah, we
Rome
have,
Jackson Technical Center
Yes.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the nationally recognized
Yeah.
schools, one of the best schools in the nation. There was a girl from, I want to say Honduras, I don't remember that for sure. She was wanting to learn IT,
Yeah.
and she typed in best technical school in the country, and Rome Jackson came up. And
Nice.
she came here from,
Really?
Yes, and graduated with high honors, and she's actually a pilot now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happens.
Yeah, so she became so and there's
Well,
stories upon stories just locally.
Yeah, their
of
nursing
people.
program is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's I hate to say easy, but not easy as in the terms of the skills of classes, but they make it easy for you to enroll.
Yeah.
And they make the classes easy for you to get to, because I know they do them in the evenings and stuff, so you can hold a job and take nursing classes.
Right.
And they work with the local hospitals and healthcare centers. I mean, it's just amazing the work they do.
Yeah, we're on a couple of committees down there,
Yeah.
and
you just don't hear a lot about it.
no, and I remember being in school that the VOTEC in the school system kind of had the stigma of where those where you sent the kids that had no future. It's like, now wait a minute.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
won't let them go if they can't pass their core
Yeah.
classes, which is crazy.
And it's like, I learned, I cannot give our technical school enough praise. I mean,
Yep.
when anybody asks me, I speak very highly of it, and I
Mhm.
continue and I always will. That building down there, there's a lot that goes on down there that people don't know about.
Yeah, it's a hidden gem for sure.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't know what this has to do with the IRS, Justin, but
I can follow the thread this time.
all right. Well, let's move
Department
on.
of Ed to this,
Yeah.
I think.
Let's say, money well spent. Department of Ed. Well, hopefully the new state superintendent, will do a good job. We shall see.
I'm gonna say the bar set pretty low, so.
Yeah, gosh, that's when you're in the basement. How hard is it to climb up that? Well, apparently pretty daggone hard.
Yeah.
I know, and here's the crazy part. This buffaloes me. Our local teachers are awesome.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that doesn't push its way up. But boy, we're top heavy at the state level, and they just
Well-
cannot let the teachers do what they need to do.
I think they give them a shovel and tell them to dig up, and they go, well, if we dig down far enough, it'll eventually come out the other
I
side.
guess I don't know. Just to give you a success story that I know about. Our local middle school did not have a guidance counselor, did not have an assistant principal, did not have a principal.
Yeah, first day of school.
Yeah, and kudos to Alicia Kuhn, who is the Title I person who went in and had to be the administrator and make school start on the first day. How in the world does it come down to that in a school system where you have to say, okay, we're going to pluck our Title I teacher, and you're now the administrator, the counselor, and make it work?
Yeah.
I mean, but she's an awesome teacher. She's been teaching for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
That experience pays off. But, it's one of those things where what a burden to throw on somebody.
Yeah, just blindside you out of nowhere.
Well, luckily she's a strong teacher and, has been around and knows everybody and all the stuff. But,
Right.
I mean,
But
can you
still.
just imagine, that's so hard to do to somebody and to do to, a school system. But that's where we're at. Anyway, we'll make it work here in Roane County. That's the beauty of Roane County. We will make it work.
It may not be pretty, but it'll work.
It'll work. Yep. All right. So moving on. You had a story about Twitter,
Yeah, so Twitter
Justin?
is finally adding an edit button, but it'll cost you.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought you mentioned this
Yeah, they
before. Yeah.
Yeah, they finally they're flipping the switch on it.
How popular is that going to be? How many
Well-
people send out Twitter messages that they're like, "Ooh, I need to change it"?
Well, considering as many times it shows up on the news, apparently quite a few. So an edit button has been the most requested feature to date on Twitter, and as of last week, the company is finally giving users what they're asking for. Amidst a high-profile court case over its future ownership and a number of other controversies to boot, Twitter confirmed a new feature to edit tweets. It's starting out with internal testing and a plan to make the edit tweet functionality available for subscribers to its paid tier, Twitter Blue, later this month. Twitter Blue is currently available in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the U.S., and the firm hasn't said what its plans are to roll out the subscription plan to other countries, much less what its plans to roll out the edit tweet feature to the rest of the 237.8 million unpaid users. And you're looking at one of them.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't plan on paying?
No, that's just dumb.
Even to edit your work?
Well, I'll just delete the tweet and repost it.
You can do that?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't do Twitter.
Yeah, because if I'd make a typo, I'd just delete it and
start over.
Yeah.
Save yourself some money.
Yeah, it's 180 characters. I mean, how much can you really screw up?
Well, I don't know. I've seen some people's tweets on the news and been like, yep.
You do a lot of damage in
Can't
180
spell,
characters,
can't do grammar.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't get past 8th grade.
You use Twitter for the business?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you find you get a decent response if people are tuned in a little bit?
Around here, no.
Yeah.
No, around here, it's funny. The biggest social media outlets locally is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. TikTok?
Yeah, in that order.
How so? Like, how do you use TikTok? I thought it was just videos.
It is, but you can like the videos, you can comment on the videos, you can share the videos.
Do you use TikTok for your business?
No, not for A&M, no. But my buddy Mike and I, we have a radio show we do once a month, the comedy show. I'll post highlights on it, and then I just started over the weekend, WVRC, our local radio station. I started a TikTok account for them.
Yeah.
They do all the sporting events, just posting highlight clips from the high school games.
Nice.
And it is going off like wildfire.
Good.
Yes. I started it Saturday, and here it is. Wednesday?
Yep, Wednesday, yeah.
Over 250 followers.
Nice.
In that short of a time.
Good. Doing good work in the community, Joe. I like it.
Try.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be adaptable. You got to, if you want to get the word out, you got to use the apps that are going to get the word out to people.
Well, and that's why I tell small business owners all the time, look, it's free advertising.
Yeah.
If you're a small business, you don't have unlimited funds for advertising. Use the tools you have.
It's kind of crazy. Like, we use Facebook, and we use it a lot.
Exactly. Prime example right there.
But I'm having trouble with whether we should jump to other outlets or not. Because right now, like you said, I don't see the need for us on Twitter or Instagram because the type of news we put out doesn't seem to be applicable. But we do a lot of videos, and that makes me wonder about TikTok. But I've never had TikTok, so I don't know.
Right.
Huh. Anyway, I got an IT guy. I run that kind of stuff by him.
Yeah. Well, Facebook and Instagram, since they're owned by the same company, you can set it up to where one post will go to both platforms instantly at the same time.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do a whole lot of work to maintain both.
Yeah. Well, our Facebook account does a boatload of work for us.
Right.
So pretty happy with it.
At this point, Dave, I would recommend at the minimum, if you're wanting to expand over into Instagram, because to make it post on Instagram, you have to have a picture or video associated with it.
Right.
Well, 99% of the posts you guys make.
Oh yeah, it's all pictures and videos.
Yeah. So literally, it'll just automatically flow over anyway with no problems.
All right. So, yeah, I'm not paying for Twitter.
Justin?
Nope.
Not even just for the edit button?
I don't even know that I have Twitter. But if I did, I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah. But if you're...
I'm sure people will, though, because they have to have that.
Yeah.
I might want to edit it, because it's too much trouble to
delete and redo. Yeah. Because 180 characters is so much
Gosh, I know
text.
From what I see on the news, some people just need a spell check version.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Hey, Twitter, I got an idea for you.
Yeah, spell check.
Yeah, instead of giving us an edit button, why don't you give everybody a spell check feature?
That would help.
Tremendously.
From what I've seen on the news.
Yes.
All right. Well, you got a product review today. Let's get to that.
Okay, so today's product review, I could not bring it into...
I didn't see you carry anything, so when you said product review, I was surprised.
Yeah, I couldn't bring it in because I have it mounted in my house, so...
That's baloney, Joe.
I know. So today's review is the Eufy Video Doorbell 2K battery-powered video doorbell.
U-F-Y?
E-U-F-Y.
What?
Eufy.
I didn't have phonics. What?
Eufy.
You better spell that again for everybody that's like me that didn't catch it the first time.
Eufy. Eufy.
Okay.
They're owned by Anchor, the amazing people that make awesome cables.
Uh-huh.
That's who owns Eufy.
And what is this? A doorbell?
It's a wire-free video doorbell at 2K resolution. And
how did you not go with Wise?
Who said I didn't?
Oh, okay.
No monthly fees, human detection, uses a 16-24 VAC, 30 VA.
Justin's on it.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so it shoots in 2K video. So if anybody was trying to figure out what 2K means, 2K is the in between 1080p and 4K. And
that helps me out a tremendous amount.
Okay,
Joe.
so you've heard of you've heard of 1080p televisions.
Okay, I don't have a TV, but okay.
When you go in the store, you'll see 1080p, 4K, blah blah blah. What 1080p means is there's 1080 pixels per inch. 4K means there's
Whoa, time out.
Okay.
Per inch?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
So like a 60-inch TV would have
a lot.
1,000 times. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I can't do the math.
Yeah, and a 4K is 4 times that.
4,000 per square inch.
Yeah, 4 times 1080. Yeah.
Wow.
So 2K is 2 times 1080.
Those are pretty little pixels.
Uh-huh. And
Okay.
that's why the picture quality is as good as it is.
That's craziness.
So this doorbell it shoots video in 2K and at 2.5 times the clarity. A built-in Sony 2K sensor and professional-grade lens allow you to view activity in picture-perfect solution, see visitors in sharp detail as they approach your door. And as Justin said, there's no monthly fee. It records straight to an internal storage, so there's no monthly fees. And it offers dual power options, up to half a year coverage for one charge, or non-stop power supply if you have a hardwired connection. If you actually have a wired doorbell, you can replace it with this.
Yeah.
An expandable field of view and increased 4:3 aspect ratio ensures you get head-to-toe view of anyone who approaches and gives you the perfect viewing angle every time. And next level detection, have total control over what is detected through the use of the motion sensor, smart human detection and activity zones, receive real-time alerts when anyone approaches, so you never miss a delivery or keep guests waiting.
Yeah, it shows a picture of a human with a green check mark and then a dog that's coming up to your door with a red X, so it won't be triggered by the dog coming around.
Right.
It'll know it's a human.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I can verify that because
That pesky neighborhood dog that keeps coming to your door.
well, that and all the deer,
Yeah.
because I have a regular, my old Arlo cameras, I have it right above my door, and when my Arlo goes off, my doorbell won't, and I'll look, and sure enough, it's a deer.
So just to clarify here, you're not willing to serve deer?
Well, I'll serve them something, but
Come around November?
yeah, we serve them lead.
Poor deer.
Yeah, but they're good eating.
Oh boy.
Customized detection. It's IP65 rated, weatherproof. Ensures non-stop operation in extreme temperatures from -4 degrees all the way to 122 degrees.
It's going to need the 122 degrees. I did hear that on NPR this morning. California is on fire.
More than usual.
Oh, yeah. Like they're having the hottest week on record. Like temperatures up to 115.
And rolling blackouts.
Well, yeah, and they were talking about they're going to have to implement rolling blackouts. Craziness.
And having an electric vehicle on during a rolling blackout is just bloody brilliant. In the internal storage, it comes with 16 gigabytes of storage. And typically, I know that doesn't sound like a lot of storage for video, but these clips are about 30 seconds in length. And I went back and looked on mine, and as of last night, I had clips all the way back from May that I could still access.
Right.
So there's
holds a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, May, so June, July, August.
September.
3 months worth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a serious review. You're doing it for the long haul, not
Yeah.
just, oh, I used it for a week. It seems great.
Yeah.
No.
You're
I've
putting
had,
it through the test.
yeah, and I've only had to charge it once since we've had it. Okay.
And the video quality is noticeably better.
Oh, the video quality is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
because when I get notifications, I can pull down and like right here, I'm looking at my notifications, and one says it actually did the human detection, and then another one shows where somebody actually rang the doorbell. And when I get notified, my phone says someone's at your door, and it alerts me that there's actually. Yeah, and so here's the night view from last night.
Oh, nice.
So it's got pretty good night vision.
Yeah.
And then
even with like a outdoor light off, would it still pick up at night, or does it need some?
yeah, it'll still because it has.
Oh
built-in-
yeah, it had night vision.
Yeah.
Night vision's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So here's this morning zoomed in on Cena's car. So
Yeah,
it's
that's good.
yeah. So the picture quality is phenomenal.
These Eufy guys, you said they're big on wires and stuff and cables.
Their parent company, Anchor got their start in making high quality, affordable cables like iPhone chargers and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. So what it does, so not only does it record video, but it actually took a shot. And here's a picture of my mug going back into the house this morning.
You're so pretty, Joe.
I know. So it takes a snapshot of the person that's detected while it's recording the video simultaneously.
Nice.
Very nice.
So the setup, it comes with a little base station that you plug into your internet, and then it also comes with the doorbell and all the mounting equipment for it.
Am I allowed to ask how it compares to like Wise?
It's about the Wise was way easier to set up.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you my horror story.
Oh boy.
So, well, I got this in a mystery box. So I got it out. I started putting it together. It wasn't working. I thought, well, it came in a mystery box. It's defective. It's junk.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I thought, I'm not tapping out this easily. So I got to researching and found that the issue I was having was a common issue. So what had happened was I plugged the base station in, hooked it up to the internet, and it says, part of the manual says you need to download the Eufy app and set it all up in the Eufy app like everything else. It's like, okay, no problem. Just going through the setup, it would get so far, and then the base station would have a little LED light on the front. It would turn solid red, and it'd just stay there.
Huh.
And then the app would say can't contact base station. You'd have to reset it and go through all that. So I got to researching it. I was like, well, no wonder it was in the mystery box. It's junk. Kind of find out there's a glitch in the base station, and the only way to fix it is you have to take an iPhone, use the Apple phone or Apple Home app, set it up through there. Don't even use the Eufy app on the iPhone. Use the Apple Home app.
Huh. Set
it up in there. Then it gets the updates, whatever fix the issue. Then you can go ahead and proceed setting it up regular. I was like, well, that's just about the most backwards, annoying, dumbest thing I have ever seen.
Yeah.
So I found the link to read that wasn't anywhere even mentioned on the Eufy website as a possible solution, because I went there first. I found this on a third-party website that people was having the exact same issue, and somebody said, hey, here's what I did to make it work, and then everybody else said, hey, that works. So I tried it and did the exact same thing. It's like, okay, so what if I didn't have an iPhone, which I don't. I have an Android.
Yeah.
I had to use Cena's. I was like, so what if I didn't have an iPhone or an iPad in my house at all? I just wasted, the retail price on this is $200.
Yep.
I literally wasted $200 on this. So, kind of a...
How long did it take you to scour the internet and find that bug fixed?
About 5-10 minutes, luckily.
Yeah.
But it's just like, the 45 minutes I spent before that to try to make it work is just nonsensical.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the Wise review is coming up as well, because I put it up a couple weeks afterward, but the Eufy, once I got it set up, I love it. I mean, I personally, I wouldn't spend the $200 on it, but
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm showing $150 on Amazon, but I could be on a different model.
Well, I looked last night and it retails for 200, but they was running a sale. It was on sale for 150 last night. So
Yeah, that you said half a year on one charge.
yeah, up to half a year,
Pretty impressive.
and so far, we're in and out all the time. So we've had to charge ours once since we've put ours in. So I'm not. The battery life on it is phenomenal. Zero complaints about that.
Nice.
So not only does it do video, but it actually does two-way audio as well. You can actually talk to people and they can hear you, or they can talk back to you.
This, I tell you, it's a very neat time to be alive. This
Yes.
technology is amazing.
Yes.
I was reading to a little bit of it there, but what a great thing to have at our fingertips. Like I do. I have you turn me towards Wise cams and the availability and how those work.
And love all the Wise products.
Oh yeah. But these, the Ring doorbell. Yeah, a friend that has that, and it's so neat because you just roll up to the house and be like, hey,
Yeah.
how are you? How's it going? Talking to you through the doorbell.
Yeah, Ring's the one that kind of started it all, and
Yeah.
it's funny. We like watching Shark Tank.
Oh yeah.
And Sadie loves it. So we was going back and start watching from the very beginning.
Oh really?
Yeah, and caught Ring, and one of the episodes had Ring on there before it became.
No way. Did they
Yeah.
buy it? Did somebody help them?
No.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a mistake.
Yeah.
These Shark Tank people know their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because they was all saying, well, what's the security on this, the privacy? I don't think I'd like this, and just dogging it, because I don't remember the name of the company before it became Ring, but then because what Cena and I do, we'll hear the pitch, and then we'll pull, and then we're sitting there with our phones looking up the company name to see if
how it
they're
worked
still
out,
around. Yeah, see if they're still around or not, and I don't remember whatever the company's name, it spun off and was rebranded as Ring, but yeah.
Huh.
And I think that's the one I could be wrong on this, that one of the Sharks had later went on and said that was the biggest mistake they had ever made on the show, is not investing in Ring.
Yeah, I mean, look at the technology advances just through that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, well, Justin, do you have your pick on what Joe's going to rate this as?
Man.
Well, let me give you guys the pros and cons first, and that'll help.
We didn't do pros and cons yet?
No, we haven't done pros and cons.
Joseph.
So
You got 3 minutes. You better move.
all right. So the pros: easy to operate.
Yep.
Once-
Except for setup.
Yeah, after setup, easy to operate. Another pro: no wires.
Yep.
If you have no wires, you don't want to run any wires, they've got you covered. Great battery life. Like I said, we've had to charge it once since we've installed. No complaints there. And another pro: the long storage even with the small storage size.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can go back several months on that storage, so no complaints there. One con, and it's a big one: the installation nightmare.
Yeah.
Eufy has no mention of that nonsense fiasco that I ran into, and I had to find a third-party site that said, hey, here's how you fix it, and Eufy's tips were same as useless.
Yep. Make note, Justin. All right, Justin, what are you saying?
Oh. I'm going to go 3.
Okay.
I'm saying 4.
Yeah, I was tempted to go 4, but
Although that's a big negative.
yeah.
Big negative. I agree with you. I'm going 3 as well, because I agree. A huge negative, if you don't have an iPhone or an iPad like I don't, useless.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's huge. Okay, 3.
Well, you got, Dave, you're smart for aiming down. I'm giving this a solid 2.5 stars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Just because of the install issue.
Yeah.
Because that's massive.
Yeah.
All right. I still think Justin and I are good there because, 2.5,
Yeah.
3, same thing.
Yeah.
It rounds up.
Yeah.
That's our education.
Yeah.
We're rounding up. Anyway. Okay, well, that makes sense, and I agree with you. And, man, it's scary to think if you buy a product and you're like, wait a minute, I got to have a different, a specific phone or tablet to make it work. That's crazy. And then you have to go third party.
Yeah.
Even worse, because I am technologically deficient. I would never even, I'd have to call you, Joe, and pay you to come do it for me because I wouldn't know where to start.
Right. And the crazy thing of it is there's Wise that's literally a third of the cost.
Yeah.
And
no issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Product review of Eufy.
Yep.
Doorbell.
Yes, the Eufy
All right.
video doorbell 2K battery powered.
Yep. And Joe, I know you put up a lot of security cameras and stuff here lately. You come in, just tell us about the stuff you're into now and how things work out. And so you have a lot of different ones that you can install for people based on their needs.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We have several different vendors we work with. We have solutions for.
Who's your favorite?
Oh, I can't do that, Dave.
Well, I mean,
okay, I'll tell you this.
Let me ask you differently. What's your most common?
Our most popular.
Most popular. There you go.
The most popular system we put in is for home use is a company by the name Lorex.
Yeah.
And they make these wire-free cameras,
Nice.
and they are our absolute best seller. I mean, not even close.
Really?
Because they're wire-free. You can take the cameras, mount them literally anywhere, tree, a fence, it doesn't matter. As long as it can pick up the signal of the base station, and the batteries last anywhere from 1 to 6 months, depending on how much traffic they get activity-wise. That's
better than Wise.
Yes, because it has local storage. It doesn't require. Yeah, it doesn't require internet connection to record.
Good, that's a good call.
It only requires internet if you want to view them remotely. So so you trade that off, but they're a lot more expensive than Wise, but that's a trade-off.
A lot more application areas for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody has any interest in that, and again, we know that you do a lot of different things computer-wise, technological-wise, but thanks for bringing those tips to us today. But if anybody wants to get a hold of you, has any questions about any of it, how do they get a hold of you?
You can give us a call at our office at 304-927-3588. Check out our website at amdigitaltech.com or follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at AM Digital Tech for all that. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Help Desk with Joe and Dave. We're on all the major platforms, and all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe. We appreciate it. Justin, good job. You didn't keep us on track very much at all, but it was fun. Nah, Joe, that's a big joke with Justin about how his one job is to keep us on track. That is not his only job.
Yeah, Justin has one job on this show, and it is a hard job.
It's to rein in the circus monkeys. That's good luck with that. Anyway. All right, well, that's our show for today. Help Desk with Joe, show 115 in the books. We're here in Spencer, West Virginia, our Patch Turned Up studio, and, all good things here. A&M Digital Technology, support our local businesses. Joe and Cena, always behind the scenes helping out with our patch stuff, as we got a lot of patch stuff. We'll be back next week for show 116. Make sure you join us. And, again, call Joe and Cena, A&M Digital Technologies, for all your technological needs. Support local businesses.